Uh, Good afternoon. I'm Dr. Swati Basu Ghose, a member of faculty in Rama Institute of Management. I welcome all of you to today's webinar. I'll be talking on retail scenario during pandemic. I hope all of you are doing well and safe in this difficult situation, difficult times. Before starting my presentation, I request all of you to mute your microphone. Use chat box for sending messages. Write your name with affiliation. At the end, we can have more discussion on this topic. And I would like to hear from you some experiences as retail customer at the end of this webinar. Thank you. And let me start my presentation. I welcome all of you once again. Why is this topic important? Retail forms a large part of any economy. The pandemic has changed the retail scenario with a disruptive effect. There have been gains and huge losses. It is time to think clearly about the recent events and recover from this unprecedented situation. Retail is not just about the industry, but also the consumers who play an equally important role. This webinar will discuss the important challenges facing the retail industry and its customers and point out the changes that are already in motion. These changes could very well be the solution to many of the problems facing the retail industry. Today's organization of the webinar, I'll be talking on the overview of the retail and pre-pandemic situation, effects of lockdown on retail during pandemic, what are the challenges were faced by retailers during pandemic. I'll look into a survey reports of Retail Association of India. Retailers need to understand customers, role of kirana stores during pandemic, what are the different strategies and models in new normal situation retailers are going to adopt, performance of brands or FMCG during pandemic, and some at the end, some academic thought. What do you mean by retail? According to Philip Kotler, an American marketing author, retailing includes all the activities involved in selling goods and or services to the final consumers for personal, non-business use. Retail indicates sale of goods to ultimate consumers. Consumers don't resell. If I buy a pair of shoes, I need to visit a retail shoe store. If I need to fill up my car petrol, I have to go to a petrol bunk, again, which is a retail outlet. We have broadly retail is divided into organized and or unorganized retail. Organized retail refers to those activities undertaken by licensed retailers. These include hypermarkets, retail chains, privately owned large retail business. On the other hand, unorganized retailing refers to the traditional formats of low-cost retailing. For example, local kirana stores, owner-manned general stores, pan biri shops, convenience stores, hand-cut, and pavement vendors. This slide will tell us about analysis of retail sector in India. I'll tell you, this analysis was done during pre-pandemic situation, where we can see that retail sector contributes 10% of India's GDP. Retail sector contributes 8% of total employment. If I look at market share, unorganized sectors were holding 88%, organized 9%, and e-tailing 3%. Now, future growth projection was like that, 9 to 10% for the next 5 years. In this slide, we can see segment-wise contribution in organized retailing. We can see clearly that food and grocery it is holding 65% share, followed by this apparel and footwear, consumer durables, and IT. Again, I will remind you, this segment-wise contribution which we are looking at, this was done, this is the data from pre-pandemic situation. Now, we'll focus on organized retail sector opportunities. There was a projection that by 2021, organized retail sector will hold 18%, which is just double which was projected for 2017, that is 9%. And it is also projected that by 2025, it will go up to 30%, and 2030, it will go up to 40%, which shows an increasing trend in organized retail sector opportunities, or increasing trend in organized retail sector percentage of holding. Now, what we saw till now was the pre-pandemic data. The disruptive effect of the pandemic will have great effect on this data. I hope all of you will agree with me. Do you think that the distribution of market share between different segments will change? The answer is yes or no. If I again go back to data, food and grocery, maybe it will be continuing the major share, it will be holding major share, but there will be changes in other segments. I feel that health sector will come up, and apparel and footwear might go beyond, might go below consumer durable, because there will be a lot of demand for the consumer durable items. Now, the lockdown implemented from 25th March 2020 to prevent the spread of coronavirus in the country has greatly affected retail business. Only stores selling essential foods and groceries were open. Garments, electronics, mobile stores, furniture, hardware, all were closed. We are going through the effect of lockdown. Retail industry across the globe has been hit by the pandemic situation. Non-grocery food retailers reported 80% to 100% reduction in sales. Even retailers of essential items faced losses as they were not allowed to sell non-essential items. This pandemic presents unique challenges for retailers of all sizes and people they serve. For retailers, it is important to assist customers in many ways. For example, updating them about product availability on the shelves, safety precautions, etc. The more challenges faced by retailers are to deal with massive accumulation of inventories due to disruption in the manufacturing and supply chain caused by the pandemic, shift to customers to online platforms, financial pressures including burden of fixed costs, liquidity challenges which can lead to large-scale unemployment, online grocery stores struggling to keep up with demand. A new challenge, 6 feet economy, which is known as new normal. The 6 feet economy, maintaining distance between two people to prevent infection. This will enhance cost and lower capacity to deliver goods and services. It demands for new strategy and mindset shift. Now, as an example, if I look at this slide, that impact on the Indian food service sector, I looked into a study which was conducted by Times of India based on discussion with industry people in the industry, which shows low footfall was noticed in food service sector. 60% decrease in revenue on an average. 20% reduction in online food delivery service. Though retailers and restaurants started reopening after relaxation, consumers are scared of pandemic situation. They're not ready to return without vaccine or proper medicine. This has become another challenge for retailers. So now, what actions by retailers will build confidence of customers? This question arises. As a customer, what can we do to help retailers maintain a safe environment? Remember that employees in a retail store are perhaps more at a risk than us. So all these questions we need to think on, and we should try to get some answers. Now I look into a report, survey report of Retailers Association of India. RAI, Retailers Association of India, conducted a survey in April 2020 with retailers, including members and non-members, to understand their view on the impact of COVID-19 on their business and manpower. The survey was filled by 768 respondents across India. 135 food retailers, 633 non-food retailers. Key highlights of the survey results. Most of the food retailers also sell non-essential goods in the same and or different stores. The non-food business in the stores has come to a standstill in the lockdown, leading to revenue loss. Additionally, 25% of these retailers have non-food stores which have been closed, leading to further losses. But the good news is that in the next 6 months, food retailers expect to earn 56% as compared to last year's revenue. 51% of respondents, they told that they need 3 to 6 months to recover their business. While others, like 24% retailers explained, they told that they need 6 to 12 months. 19% respondents told that they need 0 to 3 months, and 6%, only 6% told that they need 12 months or more to recover their business. Now, profit. 80% of respondents, they're not expecting any profit by August 2020, while only 20% they're expecting profit, some profit, by August 2020. All this data I'm showing from the survey results of Retail Association of India, which was conducted in the month of April. Next one, layoff of manpower by retailers. Small retailers are expecting to lay off 30%, medium retailers 12%, large retailers 5%. On the whole, retailers who responded to the survey expect layoff of about 20% of their manpower. In the retail industry, layoffs seem inevitable in the present scenario. But is it just simply layoff where large number of people suddenly lose their jobs? Or is it that large number of the people will have a change in job profile while still working in the retail industry? What do you think? So for example, a large retail store selling food and grocery items may opt for a smaller number of the employees manning the counters and larger number as delivery executives. Key supports asked from government by retailers for managing finance. Employer support and rent waivers. 2 out of 3 retailers employing substantial workforce want employee salary. 2 out of 5 retailers want concession and relief on GST, taxes and loans to ensure business continuity. 1 out of 10 retailers are requesting for additional 60 days for payment of electricity charges. Now all this supports 51% of respondents, they asked for next 6 to 12 months. 24% asked for 3 to 6 months, and 19% of respondents asked all the supports from government to manage its situation for more than 12 months. Are the supports asked by retailers reasonable? For instance, GST relief or flexibility in paying utility bills seem like reasonable demands. However, paying employees' salary by the government would be an uphill task due to lack of verifiable employment and possibility of encouraging corruption. Is there still a way by which this can be done? This is a common scenario, all of which we have seen. During the lockdown, the retail industry was divided into essential, including grocery, pharmacy, and household supplies, and non-essential apparels, home furnishing, and other items. The consumer behavior changed rapidly. With reference to this division, the nationwide lockdown resulted in panic buying of essential items. People started hoarding essential items such as rice, wheat, packaged food, home care products, etc. Many retailers planned short-term hiring to keep stores running and ramp up deliveries. For non-essential retailers, stores were closed, and most probably customers were also not ready or they were not interested for those items. Retailers need to understand customers. There were noticeable changes in the behavior of retail consumers during pandemic. Customers are concerned about safety measures adopted by retailers. Consumers are in favor of stocking up on food and household supplies. Retailers have started analyzing preferences and spending pattern of customers in this situation. They're trying to assure them about best practices followed in retail stores. Customer focus has shifted to items for personal care, grocery, retail, food items, and in-home cooking. As per Mintel research blog, during the lockdown period, 2 in 5 consumers have increased the amount of online shopping. Consumption of hand sanitizers in India have gone up. FMCG companies faced a situation of abnormal demand. Mintel research blog also highlights that over half of the consumer purchased groceries more than their requirements. This has led to retailers quickly running out of stock. As consumers continue to purchase essentials, brands struggle to keep up with demand. Consumers started opting for alternate shopping channels for essential items. Demand for online grocery shopping went up. At some point, online grocery providers like Amazon, Big Basket had to cancel orders or stagger their supply. I'm sure if you have ordered, maybe it has happened with you also. Now we have to look into the importance of the role of kirana stores during pandemic. Consumers started buying more from nearby kirana stores. Kirana stores selling groceries became backbone of India's retail during lockdown. The close to 12 million kirana stores with a 90% market share, almost 90% market share, have become stronger during lockdown. Retail consumers could depend on kiranas for the essential items for their daily needs during this period. Now, we have to look into all these questions. Why were kirana stores popular during lockdown? Was it the feeling of safety due to less number of customers that drew people to these stores? Was it restrictions on travel during lockdown that prevented people from going to distant marketplaces or supermarkets? Each kirana store is different in terms of its size, location, proximity to other stores, merchandise arrangement, and store operation. Think about the kirana stores in your neighborhood. What can you say about these attributes of that shop, and where do you think is room for improvement. What can your kirana store do to attract customers? What can you do as a customer to help your kirana store flourish? So with these questions in mind, I will move to my next slide. Now it's time for retailers to think about new strategies and models. So if we try to look into this slide will tell us that retailers started restricting panic buying by limiting the number of items sold, including other essential supplies such as staple foods, daily necessities, personal hygiene products to each customer to address the problem of panic buying. The rise of no-contact food delivery introduced e-commerce food delivery services focusing more on hygiene and safety measures, using digital signage to create an experience in stores that draws attention of shoppers, helps them stay informed and keeps them coming back. Retailers started taking precautionary measures like restricted entry and marked lines to maintain social distancing to avoid coronavirus infection at their stores. Reliance Fresh, Moore, Walmart, and Metro Cash and Carry are even screening body temperature of their customers before allowing them entry into the store. Metro Cash and Carry, India, is pre-packing loose commodities to avoid infection at its stores and is ensuring plenty of cash tills and mobile checkouts to reduce the billing time. It has also introduced a token system to avoid large gathering at stores. Future Group, DMart, and Walmart have marked special lines on their shop floors to maintain social distancing. They are also regularly sanitizing the stores and disinfecting all touch points, including trolley, shelves, etc. Keeping shops open for longer hours to reduce lines and crowds. Hypermarkets and supermarkets are tying up with online service for home delivery. We are looking into all the new strategies which the retailers are following. As I was telling, that hypermarket and supermarkets are tying up with the online service for home delivery. For example, more megastores have tied up with Amazon for home delivery. Shift to revenue sharing model from fixed rent model in malls, as demanded by several leading retailers in the country, will help them survive the crisis. Retailers started thinking to use more technology in a cost-effective manner. E-commerce majors tying up with local kiranas or neighborhood mom and pop stores. Now again, time to think. We can actually look at all these points, that instead of hypermarkets tying up with established online delivery platforms, do you think it is beneficial for them to tie up with local kirana stores as distribution nodes? Why would the kirana stores agree to this arrangement? What would be the profit sharing models? This question actually turns the pre-pandemic idea of small retailers becoming suppliers for big retailers on its head and makes the small retailers the distributors of large retailers. Now, we will try to look into FMCG's views on impact of pandemic. HUL, Hindustan Unilever. The pandemic has imposed incremental operating cost on the business, and there will be some impact on its profitability in the short term. HUL realized that pandemic has affected FMCG market and consumer demand. As a part of CSR activity, HUL donated over 74,000 COVID-19 testing kits worth rupees 13 crore to help ramp up testing of patients in the country. HUL collaborated with UNICEF India to undertake a mass communication campaign to inform and empower the general public about the COVID-19 pandemic. Good news about Parle product, Parle-G. 82-year-old Parle-G had best sales in COVID times. Sale of Parle-G biscuit went up massively during lockdown period. Company could serve Indian customers by supplying fairly priced biscuit. Now, this slide will talk about ITC's view. ITC converted perfume plant in Himachal Pradesh to produce sanitizer to ensure enhanced supply and availability of Savlon range of products in the market. As all of us, we know that now the demand for sanitizers have gone up. Micro, small and medium-sized enterprises are the backbone of developing economies. ITC has a plan to help them to recover and rebuild in the wake of COVID-19 with their new policy. FMCG major, ITC has partnered with direct selling company Pandmeic to sell its range of juices as demand for immunity building products witnessed a boom during the coronavirus pandemic. You can see that all companies, they have their own ideas, new strategies to be in market and to carry on their business with new efforts and new product. Britannia, the maker of Good Day and Tiger Biscuit, decided to advertise during pandemic to reach their customers easily, as most of them are staying back home and watching television. So Britannia spent on advertisement during pandemic. Britannia accepted challenges quickly during lockdown, started working on that, and could see 26% rise in the net profit and 2% increase in revenue for the March quarter. Till now, we have been concentrating on the retail industry and consumers in India. However, large number of interesting studies are being done on global retail sector around the world. Some of these are relevant to us, if not to all of Indian retailers and consumers, at least to some section of them. Now, here's an article. Coronavirus has turned retail therapy into retail anxiety. Keeping customers calm will be key to carrying on. All of us, we know we have updates about New Zealand. Now, this paper was written by Jessica and Megan, both of them actually faculty members in Auckland University in New Zealand. Key points of this article: that retail guidelines in New Zealand recommended consumers only touch and try on merchandise they intend to buy. If they don't want to buy, they should not touch and try. In the USA, no-touch retailing seems increasingly likely. Such measures confound conventional retail theory, which suggests that more consumers touch, sort through, sample and try on, the more they buy. The removal of testers for products such as cosmetics, for example, significantly changes the shopping experience. So all these points now we have to keep in mind. And we know that when we go to a retail store, we like to touch, we like to feel that item before we buy. But now we, as a customer also, we have to start thinking in a different way, in a different manner. Another article, COVID-19, retail sector issues in England and Wales. This article by Michael Thompson, Paul Hughes, Stephania E. Sheridan of Steptoe and Johnson LLP says that legal remedies may be available to retailers as a result of the impact of COVID-19 against cancelling stock and delaying payment. There may be some opportunities for entering into collaboration arrangements with fellow competitors as a means to carry on the business at least in the grocery sector. The UK competition law rules had been relaxed to a limited degree in order to permit supermarkets to share data on stock levels and cooperate on some logistics, sharing distribution depots, delivery vans in order to help meet consumer demand. I think all these points are very important and it can be applied in other countries also. And because in the whole world, throughout the world, retailers are struggling and they have to come up with new strategies. They need support from government. They need support from retail customers. Now, I'll be talking about another article. Title of this article, 3 Rules for Building the Modern Retail Organization, suggested by Andrew, James, and Sam. This article was written in 2015. But when I had gone through this article, I found out these 3 rules. Rule number 1, be a silo buster. Build cross-channel, cross-functional capabilities for coordination and quick decision. Rule number 2, go beyond structure. Devise new ways of working. All elements of retailers' operating model need to align with its strategy. Rule number 3, have bold ambitions and be deliberate about how you get there. For example, omni-channel retailers. The end goal will likely be more integration between digital and store merchants, planners or marketers, but moving too quickly or slowly can wreak havoc on results. Why I'm talking about all these 3 rules? I feel all these 3 rules can be applied during current situation, in this current situation, maybe with little modification, with new perspectives, but all these rules are applicable. And if retailers try to adapt or try to actually implement these rules, it will help them again to survive, to recover from their business, to earn profit, and to be there in market for long term. Now, before I end, I want to end my presentation with a sweet note.
There is always good news on the 9 p.m. news. Now, sweets are an integral part of life in Bengal. A famous Kolkata sweet shop has come up with a new variety of sandesh, which it claims will boost immunity against coronavirus. Take a look.
Sweets are an integral part of life in Bengal, and those with the sweet tooth can now savor their way to enhanced immunity during the ongoing COVID pandemic. This famous Kolkata sweet shop has combined 15 spices to whip up what it calls an immunity sandesh.
So what has Balram Malik, a famous and legendary sweet shop here in Kolkata, done? They have experimented with immunity sandesh. Believe it or not, there are more than 15 different herbs and spices with no sugar at all, and even 100% Himalayan honey that has been utilized to make this unique immunity sandesh, the famous sandesh that has also will be helping you to boost your immunity.
We have done many such activities regularly, but for ourselves, to boost our sales, we have done nothing so far. But this idea did boost up our sales, and also will boost everybody's immunity.
Fortified with tulsi, turmeric, cinnamon, cardamom, saffron and 10 other spices, these sandesh are infused in pure Himalayan honey to impart that extra zinc to your health while satiating the craving.
It's amazing. Retailers are working and retailers are trying to boost immunity of their customers. At the same time, they're trying to boost their own sales and profit. The data and images shown in this webinar have been taken from the following sources and links therein. So I've mentioned about all these links. Thank you for your time. Please feel free to ask questions. Anybody has any question? Yeah, that strategic acquisition of for faster growth. Yeah, that could be one of the good idea for retailers. Unmute there. Anybody? I can see Manoj Kumar. This is a professor. So I think here. Thank you. He's trying to reach us. Yeah. I'm not able to hear. I can see if you. Thank you, Dr. Senthil Kumar. Is he trying to reach us? I'm sorry to know that many of you couldn't join. Do we need to allow participants to unmute themselves? We're trying. Yeah, can you? I can hear now.
Thanks. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. Hi, madam.
Hi. Hello.
Hi. So thanks for the session. It is very informative. So can I request everyone to please mute and let the speaker be in unmute?
Please.
Yeah. So thanks, madam. So it is very informative. So just one question which I have is now, so the ITC partnering with MOA for the distribution of their own products.
Yes.
So what I feel is like MOA distribution is not that great in India.
Mm-hmm.
So how does that will help ITC to grow business?
Yeah. See, I understand. Just they can try with others also, isn't it? So everybody is going through a difficult situation right now. Taking any final decision, it's a Yeah. Am I audible?
Yes, you are now.
Yes, yes. And what is your view on this? As you asked me, so I told my view and from my understanding. So, how ITC will manage?
So my point of view is like most of the retailers are like partnering with e-commerce or delivery channels.
Mhm.
So I think that will be great help for the consumers who are like looking for particular products. But
Mhm.
considering MOA, the distribution channels in India, especially, not that great in India. So we hardly find the MOA products in the trade or the traditional trade outlets.
Mhm.
So what I feel is ITC rather partnering with MOA, if you could have partnered with any of the e-commerce or e-delivery channel, then that would have been a great help for ITC.
Yeah, but ITC should rethink.
Yeah,
Yes, and actually, as I mentioned, there's a Kirana stores. Now, Kirana stores can be also the good distribution point because we are visiting Kirana
true. Yeah,
stores more. We are avoiding supermarket. We are avoiding, they are sending us messages that home delivery within 3 kilometers. Still, we are depending on the neighborhood Kirana stores from my experience. I'm sure most of
yeah.
retail consumers for last 2 months, they're visiting nearby neighborhood stores. Am I right?
So yeah, true, madam. But what I feel is during this pandemic, not exactly the Kirana stores are booming up, but during the usual days, I believe a lot of the FMCG market making good amount of business through Kirana stores, the modern trade channels.
Yes, yes, yes. Initially,
Yeah,
maybe it was a little a problem, but after that, and so actually, I discussed about FMCG. Actually, I couldn't take the examples of the other because of time, but highlight because I understood that FMCG, as we had seen the Parle-G, 82 years company,
yeah,
the last 8 decades, they had maximum sell during lockdown period, which is amazing. And now the video which I had shown, you must have seen that Balaram Malik, they're the known actually sweet shop, but they were also struggling. But they're also coming out with new strategy. So retailers need to have new strategies. They have to tie up, they have to work with the channel partners, and they have to look into
yeah.
the distribution channel. Thank you.
Yeah. So the only challenge in the Kirana stores is like because of the space, they don't have to accommodate a lot of varieties or very line extensions for the products. So that is the only challenge over there. So people who are able to the old brands, they're very well-known brands. So
Mhm.
Kirana stores wanted to stock up those products. Apart from that, they don't want to keep the different varieties or different flavors of the different brands. So,
Actually,
so especially manufacturers should rethink on this issue.
yes. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Good. Yeah, and careless stores, the question comes in my mind, how will they maintain the social distancing? Whether will they be able to afford the 250 rupees one sanitizer bottle in a small
yeah,
careless
true, correct.
store? These are the actually real questions and real scenario, which we, all of us, we have to look into. But still,
Yeah,
as a customer, we have a lot of responsibilities also. We also need to go to Kirana stores wearing mask and keeping our hands sanitized because we should, all of us together, we can prevent the spreading of coronavirus.
yeah,
Great, but we can,
correct, madam.
yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you. Anybody else?
thank you.
Thank you. Any other question? Okay, thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed this session. In our webinar series, we have many more actually. It has already started. I think next few days we have few more interesting topics. My colleagues will be giving presentations. Do join
Yeah,
sessions. And offline, any question I can take again. Thank you all.
thank you very much, madam.